So these videos will make you question everything. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check this out.
While browsing the Unresolved Mysteries subreddit, I came across a thread which posed the question: which missing person cases have the most haunting details? Meant, in my opinion, user Hello Lurker here delivered with an obscure and chilling case that I'd never come across. That of Francisca Cadenas, a 59-year-old Spanish woman who disappeared from Hornachos, a rural town of about 4,000 people. The kind of place where, as OP puts it, nothing ever happens. On the night of May 9th, 2017, Francisca was childminding her friend's daughter at her family home. Her husband and sons were there also, and the evening unfolded like any other. The young girl's parents, Antonio and Adelaide, arrived later that night to pick her up, and at 11 PM, Francisca escorted them out to their car to say goodbye. The vehicle was parked on the parallel Hernan Cortes Street, a mere 50 meters from the home, or about 160 feet. To get there, they had to pass through a small, illuminated alleyway that connected the two streets. Francisca said goodbye to her friends and their daughter and waved them off. As they departed, Antonio and Adelaide looked in their rearview mirror and briefly watched as Francisca made the 60-step journey back to her home. That was the last anyone saw of Francisca Cadenas. When she didn't come back inside, one of her sons contacted Antonio and Adelaide and asked if Francisca had gone with them somewhere. They said she hadn't. Francisca was reported missing almost immediately thereafter. A huge search effort was launched, with wells being searched, sniffer dogs scouring both mountains and swamps, and
That's rather odd. That close to your home and nobody saw nothing? Nobody knows nothing? That close to your home? That's odd.
Inhabited houses being inspected, and helicopters scouting the area from above. Antonio and Adelaide quickly came forward and confirmed that Francisca had been acting normally that night, and that they saw nobody else on the street when they set off for home. None that they had noticed anyway. This video demonstrates Francisca's final steps, and shows just how small a distance and time frame she vanished in. As stated by her son, Jose, "My mother walked up this street, making a 50-meter journey. What's most shocking is how someone can walk that short distance, have the entire town mobilized in 10 minutes, and yet, years later, there's still no trace of her. The door is here. We're very close to it, and just a little further up the street is where she disappeared." Someone out there must know what happened to Francisca. After all, people don't just disintegrate. Supposedly, the last person to see her alive was 34-year-old seasonal worker, Carlos Guzman. He had crossed paths with her just as she entered the small alleyway. "I was going to my car when I saw her," Carlos recalled. "She was walking down the other sidewalk towards her home. I didn't even know her name, but we were neighbors, so I greeted her with a 'see you later.' She told me the same thing and entered the alley." From there, Francisca would have been no more than 20 steps from her home. Though initially considered the prime suspect for obvious reasons, Carlos,
Like, no sounds, screams, nothing, nobody, like nothing. It's like literally like she just poof, vanished into thin air, disintegrate, whatever, like no, that's odd, bro. It's almost, to me, that sounds like she wanted to leave.
had a watertight alibi. Shortly after passing Francisca, he had been seen by numerous witnesses having a drink in the town bar. To this day, Francisca's whereabouts and well-being remain a mystery. No trace of her has ever been found. I've seen people online debating whether her neighbors or friends were involved in some way, or whether she ran away of her own accord, though her family are adamant that she would have never abandoned them. They had a normal, happy relationship, and Francisca had left her phone and purse behind in the house. The authorities don't consider her a runaway and believe foul play was involved. Their working theory is that an opportunistic killer was passing through the area, and that Francisca was in precisely the wrong place, at precisely the wrong moment. If nothing else, this case reminds us of the cruel randomness of life, that through no fault of our own, everything could be taken away from us when we least expect it. Stay vigilant, even when you're just a few meters from your own doorstep. Are you tired of getting bombarded with spam calls and texts? I know I am. Just the other day, I got a text claiming to be from my bank, saying my account was compromised. Turns out it was a scam. One of the reasons why we get so many of these annoying messages is because big companies can't keep our data safe. Like how recently, AT&T revealed that nearly all of their customers' call and text records have been exposed in a massive data breach. Even if you don't use AT&T, if someone who texted you did, then your number was exposed too. To protect myself, I use Aura, the sponsor of today's video. A feature called Tamaulipas, a Mexican state just across the border from Texas. One that's long been a battleground between warring cartels, vying for control of smuggling routes into the US. Back in the early to mid-2010s, the two predominant factions were the Gulf Cartel and their former associates, Los Zetas, a syndicate known for its immense scale and unrivaled brutality. When it came to their business strategy, the Zs, as they were known, employed shock and awe tactics, indiscriminately slaughtering anyone who opposed them. That included Gulf Cartel members, with whom they had daily shootouts, and, unfortunately, innocent journalists who spoke out against their actions.
Did he just say daily shootouts? I know my mind was playing tricks on me. My ears might not be working. They might be a little dirty on the inside and kind of clogging things and I can't hear. Did he just say daily shootouts, bro? That's not normal.
Despite being as unsubtle as a bullet through a window, by publishing their own snuff videos online for the world to see, the cartels, and Los Zetas in particular, hated negative publicity. They enjoyed being feared, but not criticized. As such, if a reporter blamed the state's unusually high crime stats on the cartels, there's a good chance they'd be added to the figures themselves, either winding up dead in a ditch, or disappearing from the face of the earth. It's no wonder that so many media companies began turning a blind eye to cartel activities altogether, much to the frustration of the good people of Tamaulipas. Without regular news updates, many innocent bystanders found themselves wandering into the cartel's line of fire, both metaphorically and literally. One person who chose not to keep his mouth shut was the creator of the Facebook page, Valor por Tamaulipas, or in English, Courage for Tamaulipas. Founded on January 1st, 2012, by an anonymous user known only as the admin, the page shared information about cartel-related violence across the state of Tamaulipas and provided security updates to keep local residents safe. With over 500,000 followers and a sizable Twitter presence, Valor por Tamaulipas, or for the sake of my tongue, VPT, regularly uploaded photos of local crime scenes and reported on drug-related violence, named and shamed corrupt police officers, and uploaded images of alleged criminals and their vehicles. They also warned their audience about roadblocks, arsons, and human trafficking incidents, with the aim of raising awareness among the populace, finding the missing, and bringing cartel members to justice. You've all heard stories about the cartel's brutality, and anyone who's seen Funky Town knows that they've earned that reputation. Some of the pictures on VPT were equally as grotesque, and not for the faint of heart. So, for obvious reasons, I won't be showing them here, and don't recommend seeking them out. But unlike most people online, the admin wasn't posting those photos to shock his audience, but rather to help them when no one else would. With mainstream Mexican media often downplaying violence due to fears of reprisals, VPT became a popular platform for concerned locals, with it frequently being the only source of news about what was happening at any given time. Many turned to VPT to check if there was a shootout occurring nearby, find out where carjackings had occurred, or see if anyone, maybe even a loved one, had gone missing. The admin was known to be active around the clock, sharing whatever details he could, whenever he could. As you can imagine, the cartels were less than pleased with him. Well aware that revealing his identity would reduce his life expectancy down to about half a day, the admin took every precaution to remain anonymous. That didn't stop the cartels from replying to his posts with death threats, of course, assuring him that his days were numbered. In early 2013, Los Zetas began circulating flyers, offering a reward of 600,000 pesos to anyone who revealed the identity of VPT's admin or any of his family members, be they his parents, siblings, wife, or children.
See, you don't just put yourself in danger, you put everyone around you at danger, bro. And I know you saying they say he taking great lengths to keep his identity a secret and to stay in the shadows. But how possible is that if our information can get leaked online? You don't think they can find out who you are? I get what you're doing, and as noble and as brave as that is, fam, at the end of the day, putting your loved ones at risk, is it worth it? Because I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, they gonna find him. They gonna find him.
Unshaken, the admin took to Facebook and replied directly to the thugs through a public post. I'm not playing the hero. I'm doing what I have to do as a citizen. I'll continue to run Valor por Tamaulipas, even if it costs me my life. The admin did assure his followers that his wife and children had moved to the US for their own safety, but told them that he was remaining in Tamaulipas to continue his work. Shortly thereafter, a video began circulating online, one showing a man, allegedly a collaborator of the admin's, kneeling with his hands in his pockets. Next to him stood a masked figure in camouflage, holding a firearm. The kneeling man stated, "Please refrain from publishing any information. If not, this is the price you'll pay." After warning internet users against collaborating with VPT, the gunman fired a single shot into the man's head. In response, the admin left a message on Facebook, stating that he didn't recognize the man in the video and wouldn't speculate about its authenticity. But the message was clear, and was only made clearer on October 15th, 2014. In the early hours of that morning, the co-admin of VPT's sister page, Rosario Fuentes, was kidnapped. She had tweeted the location of a shootout so that her followers could avoid it, and one of the cartel members realized that she was a doctor who worked in a clinic nearby. Following her capture, the men holding her logged into Rosario's Twitter account, where her followers knew her only as Miet3, and made several tweets. Friends and family, my real name is Maria del Rosario Fuentes Rubio. I'm a doctor, and today my life has come to an end. The account then shared before and after photos of Rosario, one of her being held alive, and another of her corpse. Her killers changed her profile picture to the after photo. The final tweet to appear from her read, "At Bandolera 7, at Civil Armando MX, at Valor por Tamaulipas, death is closer to us than you think. Close your accounts. Don't risk your families the way I did. I ask you all for forgiveness." By the time Twitter deactivated the account, the images had already been widely circulated. The admin confirmed Rosario's death on Facebook and expressed his deep sorrow over the incident. He stated that she had been a long-time collaborator of VPT and had saved countless lives not just as a doctor, but as an anonymous citizen journalist. In December 2014, the admin announced his retirement from social media, stating in a post, "In my case, organized crime won, but it has only defeated me and not society. It has not defeated the thousands of contributors who trusted this page and made reports despite their own fears." He also announced that the page would remain active and was being handed over to a nameless individual with connections in law enforcement. In the comments section of the post, many users thanked the admin for his service, though some expressed concerns about the new management's potential ties to the government. The page was later closed by Facebook, likely for posting graphic content, but was relaunched shortly thereafter. It now mainly serves as a Rosario Fuentes memorial page. Its last update was posted in October 2020. The reason the page fell silent remains unknown. Many suspect, or at least hope, that the admin reunited with his family in the US, and that they were able to begin a new life in a less tumultuous setting. His identity remains unknown to this day, and I never thought I'd say this, but I truly hope that's a mystery that will never be solved.
Or, in my mind, I'm thinking, could they have caught him already, him or her? And they posted that to the timeline, to the page, just like they did the lady? Like, see, you got to think of it as that. See, man, this is why I mind my business, bro. Like, and I know that sucks sometimes because you want to do more and you want to be brave and you want to, try to do your part to help. But you put so many people at danger that I just can't do that to my family, bro.
In recent days, you may have seen this face appear on your social media feeds. This is Gracie Mae Thompson, a young girl who disappeared in late July of this year and who hasn't been seen or heard from since. In a post made by her mother on August 6th, we learn the following. My daughter has been missing since July 22nd, 16 days. It only takes 2 seconds to share. Her name is Gracie Mae Thompson. Age 15. Height 5'2". Weight 103. Hair color originally strawberry blonde, but recently dyed black. She was last seen in black shorts and a black shirt. The post quickly gained widespread attention, with users trying to help the only way they could, by clicking share. But despite their best efforts and well wishes, Gracie will never be coming home. Gracie doesn't exist. She's a fictional character created as part of a scam. Both her name and story are complete fabrications. Don't get me wrong, these photos are indeed of a real girl, though they were likely stolen from a still unidentified account, with the young woman pictured being completely oblivious to the fact she's been made the poster child of a con. When you dig below the surface of this post, a few red flags do present themselves, but crucially, no amber ones. There haven't been any recent Amber Alerts for a Gracie Mae Thompson anywhere in the US, and if you search her name on Google, no missing person articles or news reports will show up. Instead, you'll be met with dozens of accounts sharing the same template about their missing daughter. All of these different people claim to be Gracie's mother, and though the text itself remains consistent across them, they all contain one conflicting detail, namely, where Gracie went missing. Some posts claim that she vanished in Odessa, while others say Stockton, Pickens County, Detroit, Bell, Corner Brook, and various other locations.
Get me off this planet, bro. I don't want to share the same planet as people that could do something like this, bro. Are you serious? Are you serious? That low to do that? Come on, man. Don't get me out. Get them off the planet, man. They shouldn't be with us.
That's because each of the posts appear in sales pages, like Upper Lower Catitas County Auction and Odessa, Texas Trading Post. Fraudsters are aware that by making their posts region-specific, they can generate more likes, shares, and clicks. Other posts have also been circulating using different names and faces, though Gracie's has received the most traction so far, with her name even appearing on Google Trends in recent days. Her story is currently making the rounds on TikTok and racking up thousands of views. Though some accounts seem to merely be using the fake missing person format to farm engagement or spread a hoax, others have been making them for more nefarious purposes. According to Scam Finder, some of the posts, like this one, are designed to spread malware. By clicking on their associated links, in this case obituaryremembrance.info, users are taken to sites flagged by antivirus software as malicious. Clicking these links could lead to stolen personal information, compromised social media accounts, and the installation of harmful software on your device. Unfortunately, there are no depths that scammers aren't willing to sink to, and that includes preying on the empathy of good-hearted people. And in doing so, they divert attention away from real cases, foster distrust towards genuine missing person posts, and exploit the images of people like the young woman used in this scam. If you ever come across a post that's appealing to your empathy like this, take a moment to check the details against reliable sources. This simple step can help prevent the spread of misinformation and protect both you and others from becoming the victims of scams. This next entry was brought to my attention by a recent Gooseboost video. He covers loads of interesting internet mysteries himself, so be sure to check out his channel in the description. You'd hope that the creepiest thing you'd find while browsing reviews on Google Maps would be that the restaurant you've taken your date to has a 1-star rating, and that the greatest mystery is whether your next date's going to be with the toilet. But then you'd be ignoring Ricky Calderon, an account which routinely leaves reviews for various establishments across the US. Though on the surface they aren't particularly noteworthy, when you look through the photos posted alongside them, things take an eerie turn. Browsing through his profile, you'll find hundreds of photos of women superimposed into the locations he's reviewing. Usually only the top halves of their heads, sometimes the top third, but never their whole face. The majority aren't even of real people, but rather artificial duplicates that stare blankly at the viewer and give off that uncanny valley aesthetic. Some renders are more convincing than others, and a few of them are straight up just ripped from video games. But then there's these photos, which stand out as anomalies. Shots of real women, seemingly oblivious to the fact that Ricky's taking their picture. I've been through his entire profile, and at time of recording, he's posted 292 photos, with more being added every day. These reviews appear in clusters, most of them for restaurants in Miami, Orlando, Tampa, Chicago, San Antonio, Dallas, and the Washington metropolitan area. The question is, why is Ricky Calderon doing this? The current consensus is that it's all the work of an AI bot training itself to insert fake people into real locations. As stated by user Boxdeldanome on the Gooseboost subreddit, my completely unsubstantiated theory is that it's some sort of AI training itself to convincingly insert fake people into real backgrounds so as to gain traction on sites like Instagram to spread ads. I think all those Reddit bots do something similar. The only thing I can't explain is why they only insert half a face, or why they're actually posting it. Looking through some of Ricky's earliest contributions, there do appear to be a few other real women posing with menus in front of their faces, with only the tops of their heads visible. Looking at those, Reddit user Dreamspitter seems to think he's got the mystery cracked. It's supposed to be taking menu photos and dropping a pretty girl's face in the shot. Most of the time though, it fails. I think it only actually worked once. In each image, the picture is intended to be the reviewer, but they're all different. I believe the text in these reviews is also AI generated, and you can tell. The recommendations in restaurant reviews are slightly off. This is what the bot is trying to do. They're meant to be menu photos. By contrast, I think these are real photos, but stolen from elsewhere. So there we have it. Mystery solved, right? These are all the failed experiments of a bot learning to farm interactions and potentially make venues seem more popular than they actually are. 1-0 to the dead internet theory. Maybe. Personally though, I'm not 100% convinced that these images are made using AI. They look more like two graphics spliced together than a generated whole. I've never seen an AI create an image where one part's hyper-realistic, and the other, less so. They're not.
I just hope these girls, some of these girls that they're showing that look real, aren't missing. That's where my mind is just like, and I'm holding my breath, like, hoping he don't say that they come to realize that these girls, after running a face scan or something like that, are missing. There's some sickos out there that would do some craziness like this. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully that's not the case.
Not exactly something you'd hang in the Louvre, but there seems to be intention behind them. Creative decisions being made. I'm by no means an expert, so feel free to disagree, but I've seen others drawing similar conclusions. With a few exceptions, Ricky's reviews are almost exclusively for restaurants. We're talking Twin Peaks, Tilted Kilt, and my personal favourite, Bacon Bitch. The vast majority, though, seem to be for Hooters. Guess he really likes the wings. Jokes aside, we have to question whether Ricky himself is truly visiting these locations, taking photos for his backdrops, and then manually inserting stock photos of women into them, either out of a sense of loneliness, to make it seem like he hangs out with pretty girls, unaware of how unrealistic and off-putting his creations appear to other people, or alternatively, because foreheads give him some kind of gratification, a pleasure enhanced by sharing his images with the world. If so, that would make a few of these images, these ones in particular, quite disturbing, given that I doubt these women were even aware their photos were being taken. Still, this is very much a fresh mystery, so let me know your thoughts about it in the comments. I came across this final entry in a Sakura Stardust video. She makes great content that covers all things creepy from the Japanese web. Be sure to check out her content and say hi. Link down below. August is a turbulent time in Japan. Smack bang in the middle of typhoon season, those who live by the ocean, like the good people of Mie Prefecture, are annually bombarded by strong wind, heavy rain, high tides, and deadly landslides. On August 9th, 2014, local Japanese TV station Mie Terebi was airing an episode of The Hit, a show for fishing enthusiasts, when the station suddenly cut to an emergency report, one which warned of an approaching typhoon. Mie Prefecture was being hit by some particularly severe weather that summer, so those tuned in gave the report their full attention. The live coverage warned viewers to stay indoors and brace for extreme conditions which posed a risk to life, and filled the screen with the storm's predicted trajectory. But as viewers tracked the path of the typhoon and prepared for the worst, an unexpected image flashed on screen. There was no context, no forewarning, no explanation, and just as quickly as it appeared, it was gone. But given that it appeared during a typhoon alert, the image both confused and unsettled everyone watching. The incident wasn't addressed by any of the presenters, fueling a mix of curiosity and unease. Predictably, the network's admittedly small viewer base quickly took to online forums to discuss what they had just seen. The picture was so eerie and out of place, so many wondered whether it was a tasteless joke, an attempted network hijacking, or simply a way for Mie Terebi to drum up engagement. Well, if the latter was true, then their plan worked. While watching the news about the typhoon in Mie Prefecture, I saw a video of a bloody woman running away from an elevator. Was it an image of her running away from floodwater? Thinking about it, her hair was wet and it was sticking to her face. I thought it was blood. Yeah, there was no explanation at all. Was it real or from a drama series? I don't know. It looks something like this. Mie TV didn't have many regular viewers, and nobody had recorded the report containing the image. The August 9th broadcast was officially lost, and with nothing but a half-second memory to work with, netizens worked together to paint a clearer picture of what they'd seen. Some described a bloody woman being attacked by a realistic ghost, creating mock-ups like these. There was some debate about whether it was a still image or a video clip. Soon, the conversation spilled over onto other forums and reached a wider audience, fueling the morbid curiosity of other internet users who joined in with the speculation. Word quickly spread that all the recordings of the typhoon alert had been intentionally erased by the showrunners, who were desperate to prevent anyone from rewatching it. People labeled it as cursed, and even an optic hazard, something that, once seen, can't be unseen, and could have devastating effects on one's mind. With online speculation getting wildly out of hand, the station's official Twitter account finally addressed the incident, stating, "Due to a system error, a video from one of yesterday's news segments got mixed up in today's announcement. We
System error? Yeah, okay. Y'all expect us to believe system error? Okay. Like, how dumb do they think we are, bro? Like, come on, you could have saved this whole response
Sincerely apologize. So, netizens had their answer. The image was just a screen grab from one of the previous day's reports, one that had accidentally been spliced into the typhoon coverage. Mie Terebi didn't elaborate further though, leaving those following the mystery with even more questions. What sort of news segment would contain such a bizarre, disturbing image? What could they possibly have been reporting on? The still that flashed on screen during the broadcast was eventually tracked down and published in a horror magazine. One headlined, "Scary Broadcast Accident That Occurred During a Typhoon Relay." How the author got their hands on the seemingly lost image remains unclear, but finally the internet was able to examine it in detail. It was a photo of a distressed woman in a bathroom, running from what appeared to be a person dressed as a yokai, tinged green as if captured using a night vision camera. Despite what Mie Terebi had announced, many believed that it had to have come from a movie or show rather than a news segment, but despite a thorough search, no piece of media resembling the still could be tracked down. In 2022, popular Japanese blogger and urban legend investigator The Suburo covered the incident on their YouTube channel, appealing for information about the image's source, and one commenter, Cough0707, may have cracked it. This is a promotional video for the Narrow Path of Fear, a haunted house themed around Kuchisake Onna, the infamous split-mouthed woman. According to Koff, the event took place every August in Yanagase, Gifu City, where the legend of Kuchisake Onna is said to have originated. The haunted house, which actually took place down the winding alleyways of Yanagase itself, was filled with long-haired actresses who would jump out and chase attendees. The attraction was actually an initiative which hoped to attract more young people to the shuttered shopping streets of Yanagase and revitalize the town. As you can see, this footage, which was captured during the event's final night in 2019, bears a strong similarity to the 2014 image that aired on Mie TV. The atmosphere, the green hue, and the fact that it took place in August all line up with this event being the origin of the screen grab. How it got mixed up in the August 9th news report remains unclear, since Mie TV have remained tight-lipped on the matter, though it does seem oddly coincidental that this creepy image in particular got into the mix. To date, no one's been able to recover the typhoon broadcast from August 9th or the news broadcast from August 8th, and they both remain lost pieces of media. Nor has anyone found the exact promotional clip that this still was taken from. Whatever the case though, for those who are anxiously following the storm broadcast live, seeing this image pop up on the screen must have been a weird and, frankly, unnerving experience.